What's up, y'all? We are back. This is episode 2 of the Houston Astros Out of the Park Baseball 26 series. We're here, end of season 2025. I decided to not even bother jumping in. We were really, really bad from the point, basically, when I left off to now. June, basically, we were a pretty good team the first half of the year, and then July, August, September, it was just brutal. So decided to not even bother making a video. We finished 72 and 90, or jumping in the video. So worst season since the 2014, kind of last year of their rebuild season. But we kind of knew this was coming. We dealt away a lot of guys, brought in a bunch of prospects. We'll see how they all pan out. But yeah, there's some good things to talk about. Edwin Arroyo did play pretty well at one point. Did not finish strong, but at least his defense was good. Want to put it up a 5 zone rating in 60 games for us. Let's see who that. Oh yeah, Jordan got hurt at the end of the year, which is kind of like just the nail in the coffin. Yeah, he went down a week and a half ago or so. So that sucked, but he had such a good year, man. He was just a total beast. Super excited to have him as the cornerstone of this team. Yainer Diaz also went down for about the last month of the year. We wound up signing Jonah Heim out of free agency just to have a body to play catcher. And he actually wasn't too bad. And we wound up calling up Miguel Palma. He played 15 games, didn't do too much. Jose Altuve, great season from him, 3.6 WAR, playing a lot of left field, a lot of second. His defense at second base probably cost us a ton of games, but he'll probably be in left field moving forward. I think that's a good spot for him. And our outfield isn't too strong. Speaking of outfield, Jacob Melton did finish strong to end the year, a 91 WRC plus, 0.9 WAR. It wasn't the best rookie season for him, but he's still, 25 years old, just turned 25. Good defender out there. I don't know if he's like a long-term cornerstone, but can at least get us through, a few seasons. Mike Talkman was playing pretty well. He finishes with about a league average bat for us, but did provide some jolt in the offense when we needed it. Jake Myers wound up having a really nice season. League average bat with really good defense out in center, 11.2 zone rating. Pushes out 3.5 WAR. So really good season from him. He'll be back in center next year. Mauricio Dubon didn't do too much. He's a non-tender candidate for sure. Set to make $6 million. Zach Cole, you wound up calling him up. He was playing really well in AAA, so called him up for a few games when Jordan went down. He played 3 games and he hit a home run. So that was good. Christian Walker, disappointing first year in Houston. Just about league average at the bat. He did play a good first base, but that only counts for so much. 1.6 WAR. I don't know. We'll see where we decide to go with him this offseason. I don't know if he's a trade guy. I don't know if he has any value. But we'll see about that. It's not like we really have too many internal options to replace him. But we did call up Luis Baez, who could be the internal option to replace him. Wound up playing 18 games. I think I called him up when Yainer Diaz got hurt. Maybe this was roster expansion. I wound up playing him a lot down the stretch once we kind of got out of it. And he played really well in 63 plate appearances. So a guy who could have a spot on this team next year. He kind of plays a little bit of corner outfield too, so that definitely helps with his value. Isaac Paredes, disappointing first year. He was really up and down all year. Finished pretty poorly. Below league average bat. Doesn't play a great third base. Disappointing, but he'll be back next season as we don't really have a clear replacement for him. Shea Whitcomb wound up playing a lot. Didn't do too much. He's a fine, quad A guy we can bring up when we need a body, but yeah, shouldn't be starting. Jack DeSeno got a couple starts down the stretch. He was pretty good as well. A young guy, probably not a long-term starter or anything. Danny Hedgefer, yeah, whatever. That was just a Band-Aid. And then the pitching staff, this is really where things fell apart. I mean, it was just brutal down the stretch. You see, we have two starters who pitched 31 games for us, or started 31 games. They finished with ERAs close to 5. I mean, I'm a little bit concerned about the long-term outlook of the pitching staff with Yainer Diaz behind the plate. Not blaming all of this on him, but if we had a really good, defensive catcher back there, maybe this rotation's able to look a little bit better. Of course, it's going to be something we'll explore this offseason. I wouldn't be opposed to putting Diaz at first. If we wind up going to the Walker trade, we'll see about that. But, the OSA hates his defense. Our scouts a little bit higher on him, but that below average framing, not really something I'm comfortable trotting out there every day. We'll see. I don't really want to trade him because he's a fantastic hitter. He was our third best hitter this season. But yeah, that's unfortunately something we're going to have to look at because we can't trot him out behind the plate again next year. Yeah, because the pitching staff just completely underperformed. Christian Javier wound up finishing strong, but man, he was just unpitchable. He came back in July or August, put up a 7 ERA in August, did finish strong in September. He's on a big contract, so he'll be hanging around for at least the next 2 years, but disappointing end to the season after coming off the injury. Walked a ton of guys, didn't strike out a ton. Spencer Arrighetti, after a promising start to the year, just really fell apart at the end. 129 FIP minus, 85 ERA plus, a really bad season. Hunter Brown, there's signs of encouragement here if we can improve his control. The strikeouts look good. Walking probably a few too many guys, but the FIP minus is about league average. I think we can get a league average starter out of him. Luis Garcia, another guy who came back from injury. He wasn't too bad relative to what we were trotting out there. Below league average FIP, well below league average ERA, but another guy who, he's not going to be making too much money next year. We'll probably bring him back at that price. I did go and sign Jesus Luzardo. We needed just some arms to throw some innings for us. And he got released by Philadelphia, which was really interesting. He wasn't that bad. They wound up releasing him. He had just some of the worst starts you'll ever see. His August ERA, we picked him up around August, probably 11 ERA to start it out. Finished much stronger in September. He is due to make $2.6 million, which isn't too much in arbitration. So we might wind up bringing him back just to have an arm. I think he's better than what he gave us in 8 starts. But we'll kind of see how the offseason plays out. And then Michael Knorr, we called him up. He was having a nice season in AAA. I called him up for 4 starts, and he was dreadful. So, yeah, not pretty in the rotation. There's really not much to go with here. And I'm curious how Framber finished the year. And, I was thinking about it. I'm recording this the next day after episode 1. I was thinking about it. I could have kept him. Oh, my God. I could have kept him and, got the comp pick for him. I think the return we got was really good, though. So I'm not too upset, but that's really unfortunate. He goes down with a ruptured UCL. I assume he'll need Tommy John for that, so he'll be out for 9 months. Not opposed to bringing him back if his price is cheap. And, it's unfortunate to say if this kind of works out well if we want to go that route with the injury. He didn't do too well for San Francisco either, so looks like we probably won that trade, especially if there's some way we can bring him back at a reduced number at that point. The bullpen also, just really bad all around, minus Ryan Walker, who came over and pitched very, very well for us as our closer. Winds up saving 37 games between us and San Fran. James Karinchak was really bad for us as well. He was a deadline pickup. We didn't give up too much to get him at all, so nothing really lost there. He's set to make $1.2 million. We'll probably bring him back at that price. Brian Abreu, a rough season. The FIP indicates he probably should have been a lot better than he was. There's really no issues with this triple slash line with the home runs, walks, Ks. But the BABIP at 380, we'll definitely bring him back and hope he can bounce back. He's only set to make $4 million in arbitration, so that's not a bad number at all. Steve O'Kurt, he was bad. He won't be back. JP France, he was a nice little swingman when he got off the injury. And he's still making the minimum, so he'll be back probably next season. Sammy Natera pitched pretty decently in his rookie season for us in 12 innings. Not too much to talk about. Small sample size and all. Andrew Nardi definitely didn't pitch the best for us, but I think there's reason to think he can be better next year. And he's still making the minimum. No, he's except for arbitration, $1.6 million. We'll bring him back. And Josh Spores pitched 27 games for us. Wasn't too bad, so he'll be back as well. And then Carlos Carrasco, he 8 innings for us, which was very nice, but he definitely won't be back next season. So that's essentially it for the Major League team. Ronel Blanco, he was bad, really bad for us this season. I don't know if he'll be back. He's making the minimum. Does he have an option year? He doesn't. I don't know. He might wind up getting just cut. Luis Contreras, he was up for a few games. He was pretty good. Joe Hudson probably will just be waived and DFA'd. Hayden Wesneski did show some stuff when he pitched out of the bullpen, but was not a starter. He's out of options, so another guy will have to make a decision on. And Evan White, he didn't want to play in for us, but that's all the 40-man action. And yeah, so that's the recap of the season. We will go to the offseason now and update once we hit that. Playoffs just began, so we'll be back. Okay, so we are at the start of free agency. Let's go through all the awards this season. AL Gold Gloves over here. NL Gold Gloves, we did get... Oh, just kidding. AL. We had Christian Walker over at first base. So he wins for us. Reliever of the year, got Keegan Aiken. No one for our team, unfortunately. Joel Payamps wins for, looks like, Milwaukee and San Diego. Great season from him. Silver Sluggers, we had 2 guys, Jose Altuve and Yordan Alvarez. No surprises there. Those dudes both had great seasons. Here's the National League. O'Neal Cruz finally breaks out this season. That's cool to see. Then we go to Rookie of the Year. Kyle Teal winds up winning for the White Sox. Kind of an underwhelming season, but he was okay. And then Kobe Mayo finished the second. A guy I tried to trade for at the deadline, but they were not really interested in getting rid of him. You got Sagano, Kumar Rocker, Will Wagner as well. In the NL, Dylan Cruz, Roki Sasaki, Griffin Conine, Haesung Kim, and Brian Mendoza. Interesting. Okay. He had a really nice little half season. Manager of the Year, Brandon Hyde, and Clayton McCullough for Miami. And that's interesting because did they finally fix the award? Because it usually just goes to the best team. They give them Manager of the Year. This is legitimately Miami, who won 88 games, who no one would have ever saw coming. That's fascinating. And then the Orioles, who won 95 games, won the division after winning 91 the previous year. So nothing crazy from the AL, but really interesting that Clayton McCullough winds up winning for Miami. That's really interesting. You don't really see that. Usually it's just the best team. AL Cy Young, we have Scooble wins. Crochet gets some first place votes. Max Fried, Reed Detmers, who I also tried to trade for. They weren't really interested in that. Logan Gilbert, Framber Valdez. Looks like only in the 19 starts for us, he finishes, 6th. I got Jacob deGrom, who wound up making 26 starts. Good for him. And Tanner Houck. National League, we got Chris Sale, Hunter Green, your first place vote getters. Chris Sale winds up winning back-to-back. What a season for him. Oh my God, wow. The home runs, walks, Ks, just absolutely insane. Now you got Hunter Green, Nick Martinez, who's looking for about $30 million in free agency this year after finishing third. Nick Lodolo, so 3 Cincinnati Reds. That is just crazy, especially in Great American Ballpark, one of the most hitter-friendly parks in the league. Corbin Burns, who threw 225 innings. That looks like it's the most on this list. And Logan Webb, who throws 220 innings. Really, really good pitcher. I would love to get my hands on him somehow. I don't know if the Giants are a pretty good team, so it doesn't really seem feasible. And then Judge wins AL MVP in 141 games, 5.3 WAR. Bobby Witt finishes runner-up yet again. He only plays 115 games, so full season he probably would have won. Jordan gets some first place votes. 5 WAR is strictly a DH. I guess he played some outfield. He actually played quite a bit of outfield for us this season. Yeah, Gunnar, Adley Rushman, a couple of Orioles. Brent Rooker gets a first place vote down here. That's interesting, but he had a great year. 41 bombs. See the rest of the ballot here. I wonder if Altuve wound up getting any. Doesn't look like it. And we do have some updates from the lab. Oh, yeah. And then Shohei wins in the NL. No surprise there. How do you do pitching? He was excellent pitching. Oh my God. That's one of the best seasons you'll ever see. So Guillermo Diaz excelling in his catcher defense improvements, and we'll see kind of where that leads him. I'm still probably looking for a catcher regardless, because even if he does improve to a 55 frame, it's still probably not enough for me. And then Isaac Paredes is frustrated with his defense. And those are the only 2 updates we've gotten. And we're here at free agency. So what am I looking for? We have $57 million to spend, and that's with maxing out our development and scouting and all that stuff. Anyway, a side note, we can look at how everyone's doing here. Salas, Kaba, Brown, and Jordan was on track, but now he's frustrated a day later. See where all those guys are. So what am I looking for? I mean, the pitching staff, we have bodies here, but I don't really feel too good about any of them. Not a single one, really. McCullers is a guy who could easily just get hurt in the first game and be out for the year again. The bullpen's pretty good. I don't think we need to make any big upgrades there. Maybe some depth signings. I threw one offer out there for Angel Chiavelli, who looks like he was just a minor league release after a great season in AAA for the Rockies, or AA for the Rockies. So guys I'm looking at, I'm preferably looking at guys who don't have comp picks attached to them. So I don't even know who that really would include. Devin Williams, I guess. Nestor. Nestor's not a comp guy. He's a guy I could consider. Coming off a pretty decent season for Milwaukee, on the cheaper end of contracts here, 5-year deal. We can definitely get him down to 3, with maybe a higher AAV. But the guy I'm really looking at is Michael King. Not typically my flavor of pitcher, the 3-pitch guy, but $18 million for a potential ace, you may call it, who's 30 years old, made 32 starts last season. He wants an 8-year deal. If I can get that down to 5, maybe 20 AAV. Now we're kind of talking. Maybe throw a team option with some decent guarantees on it at the end. We'll give him those bonuses as well. So I mean, hey, he doesn't hate it. He's coming off a decent year. He did walk a few too many guys for my liking. I think he could be a good pitcher for us. I don't really want to go throwing around too much money at the moment, but we got guys like Jack Flaherty, no compensation attached. He's a little bit more expensive. But most of these guys are in like the 30 range. You got Dylan Cease here as well, who I didn't mention. Also a guy with no draft pick compensation. Maybe a bit higher upside. Is coming off a rough year, though. I guess King is as well. So, there's a couple things to look at here. I'm going to go through and make some offers. Another guy like is Zach Eflin. He always seems to pitch pretty well in this game. No compensation. Pretty affordable deal at age 31. Maybe we can get him down to a 3-year deal. 16 AAV. So he would do that. A guy that I like for his control and just eating innings for us, but the FIP is concerning on him. 111 last year in the majors. That's mostly due to the home run ball being an issue. So yeah, I'm going to do this off camera, go through a couple of offers that we give. We have some money to spend, so. And then I did look around just preliminary trades. If we were to try to ditch Christian Walker, it looks like the Yankees are kind of the only team interested. And now they're no longer interested because free agency started. But we'll probably just wind up keeping him. It's not very realistic to trade him away after year one. Maybe a deadline guy we can look to deal, but he's a good defender at first. And we do desperately need a second baseman. You know, I got like, you could throw like a flyer at Marco Luciano, who I like. Could be worth a minor league deal, or what, I don't even know. Yeah, he's only asking for a minor league deal, so I'll definitely throw that at him. Wouldn't be bad to bring him in. Yeah, you got some bargain bin shopping like Willie Castro, I guess. Could bring back Dubon. He's a little more expensive. You can go for defense with Nicky Lopez. So a couple different ways we can go at second base. Could explore the trade market as well. So yeah, we'll come back with some offers. Okay, so we are back. We made quite a few moves actually to start off the offseason. We're here at the Rule 5 draft today. That's why we're stopping. But as you can see, the rotation looks a little bit different. We went and traded from Joe Musgrove. You know, they were kind of just looking to get off of him at this point. He's 33 years old. He got 2 years left on this deal. They're retaining 90% of it. I wound up giving him Zach DeSeno, who's a decent little first baseman. Didn't really have a spot on our team, though. Oh, my goodness. Jesus Luzardo, who we wound up picking up at the end of last season, gave him $2.2 million. But he will go to San Diego now, as we were kind of flush with starters at this point. And then Shea Whitcomb, also send him over. He played a good amount in the majors last year, but just kind of a quad A guy. So we pick up Musgrove to head our rotation. We also signed Clayton Kershaw, not too unrealistic. Kershaw from the Texas area, and had been rumored to go to the Rangers for a few years. So, you know, him coming to Texas, not crazy, especially with the Dodgers being so stacked in their rotation. Don't really have a spot for him. He's coming off a really nice little half season with the Dodgers last year. Able to get him for 1 year, $7.5 million. And yeah, he's our number 2 starter. We did sign Zach Eflin. I raised some concerns about his FIP, but this guy is just going to be a total innings eater for us for 2 seasons probably, and then a $3 million buyout if we don't want to bring him back for his age 34 season. I think it's a decent little deal. Pitching's expensive. We had some money to spend. So I wound up going that route. And then we still have Luis Garcia, Spencer Arrighetti, and Hunter Brown here as other rotation options. As of right now, I'm going to try McCullers in the bullpen. Just a guy who got hurt last year. I want to see if he can pitch some innings for us out of the pen. He does have experience doing that. At least I thought he did. I guess not. I always get him and Colin McHugh confused because I know McHugh wanted pitching out of the bullpen, but he did this in 2018 a little bit. But we're going to try him out in that role. Might work better for him to keep him healthy than Christian Javier, who just didn't really have it last year in 13 starts, was quite bad. I tried to get out of his contract. There was some ways to do it, but I think we're better off just waiting this out. And maybe he's a good reliever for us. Who knows? His control deficiencies might actually play up or be better in the bullpen rather than the rotation. He also has the home run issues, so it doesn't really strike out a ton of guys. But we'll try him in the bullpen, see how that goes. We could use a couple different arms in here as well, so it doesn't necessarily hurt us. I mean, this is one of the most expensive bullpen duos you'll see, $21.4 million and $17.7 million. So almost $40 million for 2 guys in the bullpen who are not closers. So, but I'd rather give these guys a shot, Garcia, Arrighetti, and Brown. Especially if Brown winds up improving in the lab this offseason, which I don't know if I discussed it. Yainer Diaz wound up succeeding in his ability. So his framing went up to a 50. Still not really where I want it to be. And then, a guy I love and I think is like the perfect fit at catcher in this game was Patrick Bailey. So I went to the Giants, and they wound up kind of going with Tom Murphy at the end of last year. He had a 6th season, and then I was looking around for Patrick Bailey. He wasn't there, and it was 5 days before I was looking to trade for him. They wound up trading him to the Phillies. Oh my God, where the heck? Down here. Okay. I want to trade him to the Phillies for Christopher Sanchez and this shortstop prospect. I definitely would have gone, given up a decent amount for Patrick Bailey there. I might have even thrown in Yainer Diaz. I don't know. But anyway, the Phillies went all in for him. That really, makes it tough for us to trade for him now. Maybe like a mid-season thing. But this was actually the deal that I was looking to get out of the Javier contract. I don't think I'm going to do this, but, we could have taken on basically Taijuan Walker for Lance McCullers. That's pretty much identical money. And then we would have gotten out of $5 million next year of Javier and $5 million this year of Javier. But, I don't know. At least McCullers and Javier are usable pitchers. Taijuan Walker's just going to go in the garbage, essentially. So I wind up, I don't know. Maybe that's smart, but it doesn't seem that realistic. But anyway, we have the 4th pick in the Rule 5 draft, so I'm excited to see how the lottery line up going. We have the 3rd pick, so we moved up one spot. Phillies go to number 1. Oh my God. So the rich get richer. Oh my God, that's ridiculous. The White Sox drop all the way down to number 7. A's down to number 2, so we lucked out moving up a spot. So we will be number 3 this season, but the Rule 5 draft is here. I already kind of looked through the talent pool. And I like to stay away from like a Roderick Arias, for example. Just a guy who shouldn't be in this draft, quite frankly. But he is. I mean, it's not crazy that they would leave him off the 40-man after a bad season, but I'm not going to go poach him off the Yankees. But the guys I was looking at, I like Benny Montgomery. We could use a right fielder. There's a couple good corner outfield types that we could definitely use on the team. Judd Fabian, another one, good defensive player. Had a good year in AAA in Norfolk for the Orioles. They obviously don't really have a spot for any more outfielders. And then in the pitching side, I think the guy I'm going to go with, I said I wasn't poaching any top prospects or anything, but Wilkerman Gonzalez, about to turn 24. He's a borderline starter, probably mostly a reliever, but 23 years old, has control issues, but the upside's pretty good. I could see why they leave him off the 40-man. He's probably not a starter long-term. He's right on the borderline of guys that I'm comfortable taking in this draft for realism. So I am going to take Wilkerman Gonzalez, see if he makes the team out of spring. Another guy I'm looking at is Brian Ramos. Had a nice year in AAA. Can maybe play a corner outfield spot. We don't really need a third baseman. I mean, maybe Paredes actually moves to the outfield. He did not improve his infield defense. He actually probably profiles pretty well as a right fielder. So that's definitely an option, especially, I like Jacob Melton. I think he's better off as a 4th outfielder, a platoon type. So like if we were put Paredes out and right, that would open up third base, which is, a position we can fill, especially with a guy like Brian Ramos, a leader, work ethic guy, has some experience in the majors, had a good year in AAA. So I'm actually going to take Brian Ramos here in the 2nd round, wherever I can. If I can find him here. Here he is. 23 years old, going to turn 24 by the start of the season. Another kind of similar guy. So those would be my 2 picks. I'm not going to do any more than that. And we will complete the draft. Maybe I'll take Benny Montgomery, I mean, I don't know. He's a little younger. Does have strikeout issues. Didn't play well in Double-A. You know what? Screw it. I'm taking Benny Montgomery. Okay, that's actually it, though. We'll complete the draft. And we'll see if Montgomery makes the team. Austin Gomber goes. Edward Cabrera. Emilio Marquez. Oh my God, is this the freaking guy from that I wound up getting in the Nashville saves? Is this the same Emilio Marquez? That was his name, right? I don't know. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe that wasn't him. He was like one of those guys who came out of nowhere. So I think that might be. Yeah, it was because he was on. Was he on the Royals at one point? Yeah, this is the one. Wow. That brings back good memories. He gets picked here in the Rule 5 draft. And the Nationals went all in, getting a bunch of guys in the building. Okay, so we do have international scouting. I did do the scouting for this month. I think it's either going to be Pedro Beltran because he has just such absurd upside. And it probably is the smart pick, but I love Willie Pena as well. Even if he doesn't have the upside, I love the defense and the floor of being a good defensive catcher, even if the offense doesn't really come along. I'm going to give it, until we need to sign guys in January to do that and look at that. But yeah, that's where we are here in the offseason. I don't think the pitching staff really needs much more work. We're kind of full on guys. And then infield wise, we do still have an offer out for Marco Luciano. I also put out for Nick Maton, a lefty option. Lennon Sosa probably going to get outbid for him at this point. They just keep pushing me up on it. I do have an offer for Jose Trevino as a backup catcher. Good leadership, good defensive player. Kind of a no-brainer there. And then also Hunter Renfroe, which with moving Paredes to right doesn't really make as much sense anymore. So I probably will actually withdraw that offer. And then Cheville, we're still waiting on him. And, I actually had an offer out for Kyle Tucker. It was 5 or 6 years, 27 mil per. And I kind of stopped myself because, as much as I love Kyle Tucker, and he'd be a perfect fit on this team, obviously. He was a great fit when he was in Houston. They traded him because they weren't going to extend him. And, it's not terribly realistic for them to then bring him back after trading him, and then we also lose a draft pick. It's not terribly realistic to bring him back. So I did withdraw that. Another guy that I did like was Kevin Alcantara, who ends up getting cut by Chicago, but looking for, a sizable little contract here. It's not crazy to give him that. But it's weird that he got released in the first place. He'd kind of be a nice fit, a long-term Altuve replacement. But Altuve is under contract for a few more years. And I also have Altuve working on his infield defense to see if I can get him back to a playable level at that position. And he's under assessment right now. And I also forgot to mention this because I made this trade. When did I make this? I didn't mention this trade. So I wound up flipping Mike Tauchman, a guy we were going to have to pay $4.2 million. I forgot to mention this earlier. But I flipped him back in November because I didn't really have a spot for him. I flipped him for Gabriel Gonzalez from the Twins. I might have to turn up the trade difficulty just a bit. I have it at the default, slightly above average difficulty, but yeah, I wound up picking him up, 21 years old, had a nice season in high A, but wasn't incredible or anything, but a nice guy to add to the farm system here. And unfortunately, all of these guys are frustrated, which sucks. I hope at least a couple of them work out. in the lab, especially like Jordan. Like I'd love to get him a little bit more healthy moving forward. So a couple guys for Brian Abreu, who's a guy I'm not opposed to trading, but he is a free agent at the end of the year. I don't know if that's the trade though. And I also am trying to shy away from these computer trade proposals because some of them are kind of crazy. Adel Amador spent all year in AAA, about a league average bat. This being one of them. Kind of a crazy trade here. I mean, not terribly unrealistic, especially for a Rockies team who I don't know if they want to win in the division. They wound up getting a wild card spot. So like we'd eat 75% of McCullers' deal, which is fine. Throw in $370,000 cash, I guess, and then throw in this guy as well. Picking up Adel Amador. Play some second base. I mean, this makes sense, especially if they don't have a spot for him, which it looks like they don't, based on him playing in AAA all last year. Cole Carrig, who's a nice utility player, could actually slide in at third base for us, for sure. And then Jordy Romero, who's kind of a nothing guy. I mean, this isn't a crazy trade. McCullers being a ground ball pitcher kind of fits their ballpark perfectly. They need pitching in the worst way. They don't really have anyone. They have Bradley Blaylock, I guess. They have Johnny Brito. They need an arm. And they just won the division. They have hitting to give up, clearly. I mean, this actually makes some sense. You know what? I like this trade for both sides. I mean, especially for me. But you know what? Let's pull the trigger on this. I'm just curious. Yeah, see, I don't think they'd actually accept this offer if they didn't offer it to me. And I really don't want to be doing this all the time. If it was just, what if we ate 100% of this deal? Okay. I don't really want to give up Pico or Pecco, whatever his name is. So what if I went into some of the extra pitchers that we have? Okay. Definitely don't want Karinchak. Okay, we can make this happen. I get Colin Barber. What do we have for like AAA pitching? They want Ronel Blanco. Not really. You're Ryan Gusto. E.G. Bluebaugh. Okay, so Bluebaugh would get it done if we want to go that route. I like Bluebaugh, though. I think he can be a nice back end of the rotation guy. Oh, Christian Gonzalez. Okay, we can give him up. Yeah, we have a ton of shortstops in the system. Okay, so this trade makes a little bit more sense. We're eating all of McCullers' deals, so they're getting a freelance McCullers, a guy to front their rotation. Yeah, we'll eat all of that. Give him Christian Gonzalez, nice dart throw. Colin Barber, a quad A type outfielder, and Blair Henley for Adel Amador and Cole Carrig. Cole Carrig being more of a dart throw type, and then Adel Amador, a legit prospect. So, and we need a second baseman. And they're getting a freelance McCullers. I think this makes more sense. So we will pull the trigger on that deal. Amador, I'm actually just going to put on the active roster. Cole Kerr got put on the 40. Add him. And boom. I mean, we're kind of in business now. That solved our third base and second base problem. I don't know if Carrick is a third baseman long term or if he's just a utility guy. But we'll kind of play the who the heck's that guy we had last year that played outfield and infield? I forgot what his name is. The former Giants prospect. What the heck's his name? Non-tendered him. Oh my goodness. Mauricio Dubon. There you go. He's going to play that role for us. Okay, so we're going to keep moving forward here in the offseason. We will be back in just a second. All right, so we're here April 2nd, time for opening day. Nothing else really happened in the offseason, but we do have the opening day rosters. We wound up releasing Rule 5 picks. Third baseman, Brian, I forgot what his last name is, third baseman that we picked, and then Benny Montgomery as well. Brian Ramos was his name, and Benny Montgomery released them. Rule 5 pick, Wilkerman Gonzalez does make the team. Didn't have a great spring, but still like him. We're carrying 14 pitchers going into the year. And hitting wise, you can see the guys here. Marco Luciano makes the team. Nick Maton will also make the team. He had a decent little spring. Nothing too crazy, but he was our best option in my opinion. And him and Luciano were going to kind of platoon over there. Luciano will mix in at all of our infield positions, though. In the outfield, we have Altuve, Myers, Paredes in right. And then Yordan DHing, Yainer Diaz behind the plate, Trevino backing him up. In the rotation, we have Kershaw, Musgrove, Eflin, 3 signings / trade guys that we picked up this offseason. Luis Garcia and Hunter Brown, who did improve his control, allegedly, although his rating didn't actually go up. I guess it went up. OSA thinks he's a 40, so maybe it went up from that, but hopefully he has better control this season. In the bullpen, we have Ryan Walker, Andrew Nardi, a couple of deadline pickups last year. Brian Abreu also there. And we have Gonzalez, Christian Javier, who had a nice little spring. Spencer Arrighetti, who was a starter all year last year for us, but will move to the bullpen to start the season. And Josh Spores will be our other middle relief guy. And then Ronel Blanco guy out of options, as well as Wisniewski also out of options. Those guys make the team. Likely the first ones to be cut if we need a hitter or something. We are with 14 pitchers to open the season. And just as a general strategy, I'm going to limit my starters to 85 pitches to begin the year. We'll kind of see how everyone plays. So we were here opening day against Minnesota. Pablo Lopez, Joe Ryan, and Zebby Matthews will be their 3 starters. And we will have Kershaw starting opening day, Joe Musgrove, and Zach Eflin. So lineup is Altuve, Paredes, Alvarez, Diaz, Walker. No surprises there. Christian Walker did, well, the previous scout report had him downgrade a little bit, but he looks fine now. Now we have Maton, Myers, Arroyo, Amador to open up at the bottom of the order. The bottom of the order is a little sketchy right now, but the top 5 is pretty good. So we will open up against Minnesota here. Quick check-in. In international free agency, we did sign Pedro Beltran, used all of our available resources in international signing to get him. Just looks like a total beast, but comes in at number 109 in prospect rankings. So our system ranks 25th. Our only top 100 guy being Matt Scott, first round pick last season. But we have a handful of guys in the top 200. Luis Baez, first baseman, who had a rough spring. Michael Knorr, a guy who made his debut, had a decent little spring. Adel Amador, Malcolm Moore, catcher we got in a trade to Texas last year when we sent backup catcher. Oh my goodness. What the heck was his name? Victor Caratini over to Texas. And Josar Gonzalez rounds out our top 100 guys. Cam Smith falls out of the top 200. A little bit surprising. He didn't have a great spring, but still looks promising. Austin Gordon, a guy we got in the trade with LA. last season. Starlin Caba, who had a great spring for us, but he's only 20 years old, isn't really there yet, but very excited for what he could potentially be. Fabian Lopez right behind him, essentially the same player. Gonzalez, a Rule 5 pick, and then a handful of other guys. Nate Snead, 3rd-round pick last year. Gabriel Gonzalez, a guy we picked up earlier in the offseason for Mike Talkman. So, yeah, I mean, the farm looks better than it did, I think. And I think it's better than the 25th ranked, but that's what they think at least. So, as for, season tickets have gone way up. Attendance projected is way up. Revenue is way up. So things are looking good. A lot of it's probably Clayton Kershaw signing with us. I mean, that was a big pickup. And I think also we met one of the owner goals for an MVP. Because Kershaw did win MVP back in 2012, maybe 2011. I don't know if it was the year him and Verlander both won. Where the heck is... Where are my owner goals? Here we go. So they want us to upgrade right field. Isaac Paredes might be that. And then I guess they didn't count Clayton Kershaw as an MVP winner. That's interesting. So maybe that hasn't updated yet. Anyway, opening day here, Clayton Kershaw, Pablo Lopez. And we lose 8-3 to begin the season. Kershaw was not bad. Christian Javier, infinite ERA at the moment. Spencer Arrighetti and Reynel Blanco pitched well, but those two guys absolutely stunk it up. Nice job from the bottom of our order, though, getting going. But we have an off day, and we will have Musgrove making his Astros debut. And we win 4-3. So we get in the win column. Mike Talkman playing for the Twins here. And Musgrove pitched pretty well in his first start. Wisniewski, Gonzalez, and Walker did some relief work for us. Another 2-hit game for Edwin Arroyo. And we will look to win the series here. Zach Eflin on the mound against Zebby Matthews. Our big free agent signing. Not off to a good start there. Eflin actually pitched quite well. Reynel Blanco, 3 runs in an inning in the third. Andrew Nardi had 4 runs in an inning in the third. So a rough start with the pitching to start the season. Kind of get dominated there in 2 losses against the Twins. But we did win 1. So not the end of the world. But yeah, that's how we will start the season. You know what? Let's just go one trip through the rotation here. We'll play the first 2 games against Milwaukee. 3-0 victory. So a nice start from Luis Garcia. Nardi and Walker good in relief. And, Luciano, a couple of hits in this one. Alvarez has 3 hits. He's up to 3 home runs already. He did have a 2 home run game in that loss to Minnesota. And then Hunter Brown making his first start of the year after a successful training. I should go through that really quick as well. Nothing too major. Here we go. So Alvarez didn't improve strength and conditioning. Hunter Brown was outstanding in improving control. Again, didn't really look like it made much of a difference, but we'll see how he wound up playing. Gonzalez was unsuccessful, but Starlin Caba did improve his power, went up from 20 to 25. Nothing too crazy there, but at least keeps him moving in the right direction. Matt Scott did not improve his control. Rainer Arias did improve his plate discipline. He's looking like a legit player here. He'll start the year in high A. Andrew Salas, no improvement, and Nate Snead, no improvement. So that's that. And that will pretty much wrap up this episode. Thank you very much for watching. We will see you guys in episode 3 for the mid-season episode, I guess. Yeah, we'll see you then. Peace.